If she sits down on it, there is an offense of expiation. This is Buddhist Books Podcast, episode 181, Tipiṭaka, part 111, in which we will continue reading the Tipiṭaka, Bhikkhunivibhaṅga, specifically the rules for nuns, and we are on Pācittiya, or Rule of Expiation 15. And these are getting kind of short, so it's safe to say I'll be reading at least 15, 16, and 17. I hope everyone's doing well. And, all right, I'll go ahead and get to it. Expiation, Pācittiya 15. At one time, the Enlightened One, the Lord, was staying at Savatthi in the Jeta Grove in Anathapindika's monastery. Now at that time, a certain nun frequented a certain family as a regular diner. Then that nun, having dressed in the morning, taking her bowl and robe, approached that family. Having sat down on a seat, she departed without asking the owner, parentheses for permission, end parentheses. The family's slave woman, while sweeping the house, placed that seat inside a dish. The people, not seeing that seat, spoke thus to that nun, quote, "Lady, where is that seat?" And, quote, I have to be honest, I'm not really sure where this is going, other than probably she wasn't supposed to leave without asking the owner for permission. I don't know. Quote, "I, sirs, did not see that seat." End quote. Saying, quote, "Lady, give back that seat." End quote. Having scolded her, they stopped, parentheses, her as, end parentheses, a regular diner. Then these people, searching the house, having seen that seat inside the dish, having apologized to that nun, parentheses, end parentheses, established her as a regular diner. Then that nun told this matter to the nuns. Those who were modest nuns, 3 dots, spread it about, saying, quote, "How can this nun, having approached families before a meal, having sat down on a seat, depart without asking the owner, parentheses, for permission, end parentheses." I mean, hopefully this is just a matter of like, okay, like being polite, like not just walking out without saying goodbye, like, "Okay, sir, I'm going to be leaving now." And asking for permission, maybe that's the polite way of taking leave of someone. I don't know, but I don't remember the monks ever asking for permission to leave a house. That's all I'm saying. Small thing, it's minor. Quote, "Is it true, as is said, monks, that a nun, 3 dots, the owner, parentheses, for permission, end parentheses, end quote, quote, "It is true, Lord," end quote. The Enlightened One, the Lord, rebuked them, saying, quote, "How, monks, can a nun, 3 dots, depart without asking the owner, parentheses, for permission, end parentheses, end quote?" Not end quote. He's still talking. It is not, monks, for pleasing those who are not, parentheses, yet, end parentheses, pleased. 3 dots, this rule of training. Whatever nun, having approached families before a meal, having sat down on a seat, should depart without asking the owner, parentheses, for permission, end parentheses, there is an offense of expiation, end quote. Whatever means, she who is an elder or a junior or one of middle standing, this one on account of relations, on account of birth, on account of name, on account of clan, on account of virtue, on account of the way of living, on account of the field of activity, is called whatever. Thank you, me in the past. Nun means she is a nun because she is a beggar for alms. She is a nun because she submits to walking for alms. She is a nun because she is one who wears the patchwork robes. She is a nun by the designation, parentheses, of others, end parentheses. A nun because of her acknowledgement. A nun, parentheses, to whom it was, parentheses, said, quote within quotes, come, nun, end quote within quotes. A nun is one ordained by the 3 goings to a refuge. A nun is auspicious. A nun is the essential. A nun is a learner. A nun is an adept. A nun is ordained by both complete orders by means of a, parentheses, formal, end parentheses, act, at which the motion is put and followed by 3 proclamations, irreversible and fit to stand. In this way is this nun one who is ordained by both complete orders by means of a, parentheses, formal, end parentheses, act, at which the motion was put and followed by 3 proclamations, irreversible, fit to stand, and this is how nun is to be understood in this case. Thank you again, me in the past. Before a meal means from sunrise until midday. Family means there are 4, parentheses, kinds of, end parentheses, families. A noble family, a Brahmin family, a merchant family, a low-caste family. All right. They're not mentioning, of course, the apparently unmentionable. Well, low caste, I guess. That's like there's low caste and then untouchable. So there's 5, which reminds me, just for fun, let's see the 5 Dhyani Buddhas. Let's see if I can remember off the top of my head here. So here at the top, Amitabha hails from the low caste family, not the untouchable though, the servant caste. And down at the bottom in the east is the blue one is Akshobhya, and he hails from a warrior caste or a noble caste, what he's calling a noble caste here in the text. And there's some royalty apparently in his ancestry. And there on the right is Amoghasiddhi, and his ancestry comes from the untouchable caste. And he's known as the Buddha yet to come. So that's the one that some people think Jesus might have been. Sort of like people who interpret the book of Revelation to mean that Nero was the beast. Never mind. Sorry to be going so far afield. But so just to finish, the one on the left is Ratnasambhava of yellow skin and of the merchant caste, the merchant type of family, as it says here. And then there in the center, Vairocana, or Vairochana, I've heard it pronounced both ways, of white skin, like white, alabaster white, not like my pink skin. He's from the Brahmin caste. That's according to the Life and Liberation of Padmasambhava, which we read every 10 episodes. And those who are watching or listening to Buddhist Books podcast knows the previous episode was part 9 of that. Those who are on the Tipiṭaka podcast or the Tipiṭaka playlist maybe missed it. In case you want to listen to that instead, here's the Padmasambhava playlist where you can start with episode 1. And that'll be Canto 1 and see kind of how that whole series got started. And I'm talking to try to make sure 17 seconds goes by before I point up there again. That was the episode we did last time, a couple of days ago, I think it was. That's part 9. All right, continuing. Having approached means having gone there. He went there. A seat means it is called a place for sitting cross-legged, much like the Zafu Zabuton I'm sitting on, maybe a little like it. Having sat down means having sat down on this. Right? Should depart without asking the owner, parentheses for permission, and parentheses means whatever man in that family is learned, without asking him, parentheses for permission, but, end parentheses, in letting herself pass a place that is sheltered from the rain, there is an offense of expiation. If she thinks that she has not asked, parentheses for permission, end parentheses, when she has not asked, parentheses for permission, end parentheses, and departs, there is an offense of expiation. If she is in doubt as to whether she has not asked, parentheses for permission, 4 dots, mixing it up. If she thinks that she has asked, parentheses for permission, end parentheses, when she has not asked, parentheses for permission, 3 dots, back to normal, there is an offense of expiation. If it is not for a place for sitting cross-legged, there is an offense of wrongdoing. Okay, so it's a special kind of protocol when they've laid out a seat, especially for you, to let them know that you're going, perhaps so they can put the seat away? I don't know, but all right. If she thinks that she has not asked, parentheses for permission, end parentheses, when she has asked, parentheses for permission, end parentheses, there is an offense of wrongdoing. If she is in doubt as to whether she has asked, parentheses for permission, end parentheses, there is an offense of wrongdoing. If she thinks that she has asked, parentheses for permission, end parentheses, when she has asked, parentheses for permission, end parentheses, there is no offense. There is no offense if she goes away asking, parentheses for permission, end parentheses. If it is one that is not movable, if she is ill, if there are accidents, if she is mad, if she is the first wrongdoer. So, not movable, asamharime, probably not pronouncing that Pali word correctly, presumably meaning that she can go away of her own accord if she has not been given a pulanka or other movable seat. Okay. Expiation, Pācittiya, 16. At one time, the enlightened one, the Lord, was staying at Savatthi in the Jeta Grove in Anathapindika's monastery. Now at that time, the nun Tulananda, yes, that's Tulananda, having approached families after a meal, sat down on a seat without asking the owner, parentheses, for permission, end parentheses, and moreover lay down on it. All right? Anyone who's confused, this is what Tulananda looks like in the Tipiṭaka Rogues Gallery, which, if you want, you can check out that link. That's the just the hour in which we assign a cartoon character to every naughty monk and nun in what we've read so far. Okay. People, being shy of the nun Tulananda, neither sat down on that seat nor lay down on it. The people, spread it about, saying, quote, "How can the nun Tulananda, having approached families after a meal, sit down on a seat without asking the owner, for permission, and moreover lie down on it?" End quote. Nuns heard these people who spread it about. Those who were modest nuns, spread it about, saying, quote, "How can the lady Tulananda, and moreover lie down on it?" End quote. Quote, "Is it true, as is said, monks, that the nun Tulananda, and moreover lay down on it?" End quote. Quote, "It is true, Lord." End quote. The enlightened one, the Lord, rebuked them, saying, quote, "How, monks, can the nun Tulananda, and moreover lie down on it? It is not, monks, for pleasing those who are not, yet, and pleased, this rule of training. Whatever nun, having approached families after a meal, should sit down or lie down on a seat without asking the owner, for permission, end there is an offense of expiation. End quote. Thank you. Whatever means None means After a meal means after midday has passed until the sun has set. So, leaving a seat without permission from the owner in the morning is against the rules. And sitting on a seat without asking for permission in the afternoon is against the rules. If I were a betting man, I might guess that the next couple rules are going to cover leaving a seat without asking for permission in the afternoon and sitting on a seat without asking permission in the morning. And then that begs the question, to misuse that phrase, what about at noon? What if she sits on the seat without asking for permission right at the stroke of 12 noon? Never mind, I'll keep reading. Sorry. After a meal means after midday is passed until the sun has set. Family means 3 dots. Having approached means having gone there. Without asking the owner, for permission, and means. Whatever man in that family is the owner, without asking him to give, permission, and not the woman of the house, the man of the house. The female monk, the man of the house. If it's a monk, it's different. Different time. All right, continuing. A seat means 3 dots. Should sit down on means if she sits down on it, there is an offense of expiation. Should lie down on means if she lies down on it, there is an offense of expiation. If she thinks that she has not asked for permission, and when she has not asked for for permission, and sits down on or lies down on a seat, and there is an offense of expiation. If she is in doubt as to whether she has not asked for permission, 3 dots, CXV, 2, end 3 dots, there is an offense of expiation. There is no offense if she, asking parentheses for permission end parentheses, sits down on or lies down on a seat. If it is permanently appointed, if it is a permanently appointed parentheses seat and parentheses, like if it's understood that that's her seat, that she can come whenever she wants, and when she comes, that's her seat, no one else should sit on it, that's the Nantulananda's seat. Or if somebody's sitting on it, they get up. If the dog's laying on it, never mind. Okay, if she is ill, if there are accidents, if she is mad, if she is the first wrongdoer. Right, there's a time and a place for laying down on a seat without asking permission, and it's when you're ill. Okay, fair enough. Expiation, Pācittiya, 17. At one time, the Enlightened One, the Lord, was staying at Savatthi in the Jeta Grove in Anathapindika's monastery. Now at that time, several nuns going to Savatthi through the Kosalan districts, having arrived at a certain village in the evening, having approached a certain Brahmin family, asked for accommodation. Then that Brahmin woman spoke thus to these nuns, quote, "Wait, ladies, until the Brahmin comes." End quote. The nuns saying, quote, "until the Brahmin comes," exclamation point, end quote, having spread a sleeping place, some sat down, others lay down. Then that Brahmin, having come during the night, spoke thus to that Brahmin woman, quote, "Who are these?" End quote. Quote, "They are nuns, master." End quote. Saying, quote, "Throw out these shaven-headed strumpets." End quote. I think he was the one who got the poop dropped on his head a couple of episodes ago. He threw them out from the house. Then these nuns, having arrived in Savatthi, told this matter to the nuns. Those who were modest nuns, spread it about, saying, quote, "How can these nuns, having approached families at the wrong time, having spread a sleeping place without asking the owner, parentheses, for permission, end parentheses, sit down on it, and lie down on it," end quote, Quote, "Is it true, as is said, monks, that nuns, lay down on it?" End quote. Quote, "It is true, Lord." End quote. The Enlightened One, the Lord, rebuked them, saying, quote, "How, monks, can nuns, having approached families, lie down on it? It is not, monks, for pleasing those who are not, parentheses, yet, end parentheses, pleased. This rule of training. Whatever nun, having approached families at the wrong time, having spread or having caused a sleeping place to be spread without asking the owner, parentheses, for permission, end parentheses, should sit down on it or lie down, or should lie down on it, there is an offense of expiation. End quote. Whatever means, none means 3 dots. Wrong time means from sunset until sunrise. Family means 3 dots. Having approached means 3 dots. Without asking the owner, parentheses, for permission, and parentheses, means 3 dots, parentheses, CXV 2, 2, and parentheses, 3 dots. Sleeping place means even a spreading of leaves. Having spread means oneself having spread. Having caused to be spread means having caused another to spread. Should sit down on means should lie down on means 3 dots. I think she forgot to put 3 dots after should sit down on means. Because sit down on means does not mean should lie down on means. It doesn't even make sense. If she thinks that she has not asked, parentheses for permission, end parentheses, when she has not asked, parentheses for permission, end parentheses, and having spread or having caused a sleeping place to be spread, she sits down on it or lies down on it. There is an offense of expiation. If she is in doubt as to whether she has not asked, parentheses for permission, and parentheses 3 dots. If she thinks that she has asked, parentheses for permission, end parentheses, when she has not asked, parentheses for permission, end parentheses, there is an offense of expiation. If she thinks that she has not asked, parentheses for permission, end parentheses, when she has asked, parentheses for permission, end parentheses, there is an offense of wrongdoing. If she is in doubt as to whether she has asked, parentheses for permission, end parentheses, there is an offense of wrongdoing. If she thinks that she has asked, parentheses for permission, end parentheses, when she has asked, parentheses for permission, end parentheses, there is no offense. There is no offense if asking, parentheses for permission, end parentheses, having spread or having caused a sleeping place to be spread, she sits down on it or lies down on it. If she is ill, if there are accidents, if she is mad, if she is the first wrongdoer. So there is Pācittiya for nuns, 15, 16, and 17. Different situations of sitting or getting up without asking for permission. All right. Again, stay tuned because in a year or two, we'll be finished with the rules and we'll get into the discourses. There's the dialogues of the Buddha, parts 1 and 2, these thin ones. That is in part 3 as well. There's middle-length discourses, and then there's like the big, thick books of discourses, and so that'll be fun. And then there's Abhidhamma, which I'm sure is good too. So, but for now, and for a while yet, we will continue reading these rules, which are sometimes fun. If this is the first one you've seen, then well, you know, sometimes it's a little more interesting than today was. And if you want to see more, then do please subscribe. Hit that subscribe button down there. And that'll let YouTube know that they should suggest this video to more people. And so that's why I would like you to do that. But you get something out of it too, because it's much more likely to show it to you when I post the next episode. So if you liked this video and think you might want to see it again, not it again, but one like it. Anyway, I will go ahead and close, and I hope everybody's having a wonderful day, a wonderful week, a wonderful month, a wonderful year. To the north and to the south, to the east and to the west, to the spirits of light among us, and to the spirits below, we send out our reverent love and compassion. May all beings be happy. May all beings be serene. May all beings be in peace. Until next time.